Hello, everybody. Hi there. I want to thank you for joining in for another Harley Carnes podcast, Harley on the Headlines. Thanks again for liking, subscribing, following, for helping let other people know about the show. What's dominating the news? Certainly our thoughts. The dismantling of Iran's military, its intelligence, and its command structure. This is one of the most consequential presidents of our times, including those who have had long lifetimes. Every president since radical Islam took over in Iran and turned it into a giant hellhole, every single one of them have made the right noises, you know? Every president has talked about reining that country in on behalf of people who want to live free from the threat of terrorism. Every president before now has talked a good game, and at best made some half measures. Democrats might have mental problems with Donald Trump, deranged about the man, and unable to see the world straight any longer, but there is no denying that what Trump and Israel have done together has made this world safer than it was just a few days ago. No question about that. Iran doesn't have the ability it had to cause trouble. Iran showed its true colors in its response. It didn't just try to fight back against the U.S. and Israel. It started firing missiles at its neighbors, including at purely civilian locations, hotels, shopping areas, and so on. Iran's obvious plan was to force the fighting to spread into a regional war. But Iran's Arab neighbors, they get it. They're not getting sucked into any such expansion of hostilities because they know the U.S. and Israel has no real beef with them. In fact, there have been real and substantial steps toward peace taken through Trump's Abraham Accords. Now, I say Trump's Accords. They're not really his. He created the atmosphere in which agreements and movement toward peace could happen, and they did. There is Israel, of course, plus the United Arab Emirates, UAE, Bahrain, Sudan, Morocco, Somaliland, Kazakhstan. They're all signers to the accords. Saudi Arabia and Syria are close, but have not yet signed. Time and again, we have watched as our presidents drew lines in the sand, and typically in response to Iran going too far or getting close to having nuclear weapons, only to watch Iran dance all over the line, thumb their noses at the U.S., call for our destruction, and keep doing what they want to do. This president does not play that. He knows one thing for sure, something my dad used to say. You are your word, or you are not. There's no middle ground on that. If you say you're going to do something, it happens on time, immediately, and consistently. If that is your approach, then others know where they stand with you. That goes for the positive as well as the negative consequences. So Iran's ability to foment terror is being taken apart piece by piece. If things do work out, millions of Iranians will have a chance to create a new government that springs out of their hopes and dreams and even plans for a better future. Any political idiot in this country who doesn't support that really should find another line of work. Where does Iran turn for help to try in its death throes to do damage to Israel? Hezbollah, of course, which is based in Lebanon, but infects the region. That's why Israel's military is attacking Hezbollah targets in Lebanon today. The U.S. will too. Not much choice in the matter. Israeli Defense Forces say Hezbollah's intelligence chief, Hassan Baghlad, is already dead. Iran managed to hit the UK military base on Cyprus, which nudged England most of the way off the fence that it's been trying to sit. The UK Prime Minister initially sounded like an American Democrat, saying it opposed the U.S. attack, while at the same time declaring how abhorrent the Iranian regime has been and is. And then Iran managed to hit a UK airbase. Now, the UK has told the U.S., sure, go ahead and fly missions from our bases. I guess we are your ally after all. Iran has not shot down any American aircraft, but we managed to shoot down 3 of our own over Kuwait. Actually, Kuwaiti air defenses shot them down, but they're on our side, and we built that air defense for them. All of the pilots and weapons officers are okay. They bailed out safely. The buildup of U.S. forces is continuing, though. There will be boots available for ground operations if necessary. And the U.S. commander in the theater isn't talking about any details because they don't tell the enemy what they're doing. The radical Islamic enemy is here at home in America. The FBI is saying keep your eyes open. Shiite radicals are predicting the end of time, apocalypse. A radical imam in a mosque in Northern Virginia said that very thing and, in fact, prayed loudly that Armageddon would come and usher in the arrival of the Messiah, whom Muslims believe will either kill or subjugate all infidels, which is to say non-Muslims, and institute Islam everywhere. The Justice Department has suggested that all Americans keep their eyes open and their heads on a swivel in places where radicals might thrive. New York City's new mayor, Islamist, socialist, communist, Zoran Mamdani, is being called out by Iranian Americans. And there are calls that he just keep his mouth shut. Mamdani called the U.S. attacks on Iran a catastrophic escalation of an illegal war of aggression. Well, Masih Alinejad is an Iranian American who is celebrating the attacks and the death of Ayatollah Khamenei. She directed her words at Mamdani and said, "Stop lecturing us Iranians about peace. I don't feel safe in New York listening to someone like you, Mamdani, who sympathizes with the regime that killed more than 30,000 unarmed Iranians in less than 24 hours. And she told him New York belongs to people who stand against terrorism, not those who excuse it. She's been a frequent online pro-freedom critic of the Iranian regime. They tried and failed to assassinate her in 2024. She also said it's imperative that the Democrat Party in America wake up. That's what she said, wake up. The body of Reverend Jesse Jackson lies in state in South Carolina. Now, when you think of Jackson, you tend to think of Chicago because that was the nerve center of his political organization. But he was born in Greenville, South Carolina, and that's where his family will bury him. If you've ever ridden on a chairlift at a ski resort, you'll know this feeling, the one that says, if I scoot forward just another inch or so, I will surely slide out of this thing and fall, whatever it is, to the ground below, so you don't do that. A 21-year-old woman slipped out of her seat at Big Bear Mountain Ski Resort and would have fallen had it not been for her twin sister and a friend. They grabbed her arms and held on until the chair got to the top of the hill and resort workers could help her out. Her sister said she was really falling. My friend was screaming at her, stop wiggling, said she was in panic mode. The young woman said she looked down and she kept seeing her own death. Sounds like distinctly not fun, but all is well. She didn't fall, and she has a really interesting story to tell. Well, that'll do it for today's Harley on the Headlines. I want to thank you for joining us. If you get anything good out of these episodes, I hope you will help spread the word about the show. You know how. You know what to do. I don't need to explain it. I mean, I don't. I thank you in advance for whatever you do. God bless our military and those who command their efforts. God bless this country, please. The single brightest light for freedom that exists in this world. Be well today. Do yourself a favor and be happy. That is a choice. Make some good decisions today in your life. And fly safe. It's the only way to get there.